Welcome, my friend. Today, you are not just listening to an English story. You are stepping into a quiet but powerful journey. A journey that can change how you wake up, how you work, and how you keep promises to yourself. Discipline is not loud. It does not shout. But when you understand it, discipline becomes the invisible force that slowly builds a better life. Stay with this story, because by the end, you may see discipline in a completely new way. Many people think discipline means being strict, hard, or serious all the time. They imagine waking up early, forcing themselves to work, and never feeling tired or bored. But what if discipline is something softer, something smarter, and something more human? What if discipline is not about control, but about care? This story will gently guide you to that answer, step by step, in simple English, so you can learn both the language and the lesson together. The story begins in a quiet town where days passed slowly and life felt ordinary. In this town, people had dreams, but most of those dreams stayed only in their minds. Every morning, the sun rose with promise, and every night, it set with regret. The air carried a feeling that something important was missing, though no one could clearly say what it was. In this town, mornings often began with good intentions. People planned to wake up early, exercise, study, or work on their goals. But as the day moved forward, distractions appeared. Phones buzzed, time slipped away, and energy faded. By evening, tired minds whispered the same excuse. I will start tomorrow. Tomorrow became a comfortable word. It felt safe and hopeful. But tomorrow also became a hiding place, where unfinished goals quietly waited. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into years. Slowly, people forgot what they once wanted, and life continued without change. Among these people was someone very ordinary. Not rich, not famous, not special in any obvious way. This person had talent, time, and opportunity, but something invisible held them back. It was not fear, and it was not lack of ability. It was the absence of discipline. Every time a new goal appeared, excitement followed. But excitement was like a guest who stayed only for a short time. When motivation left, nothing replaced it. Without discipline, even strong motivation disappeared, leaving unfinished work behind. One quiet evening, after another unproductive day, a deep feeling of frustration appeared. It was not loud anger, but a heavy sadness. The question came softly. Why do I keep failing myself? That question did not bring an answer, but it opened a door. The next day felt different, not because life changed, but because awareness changed. Instead of thinking about big goals, attention moved to small actions. Simple things, small choices, tiny habits that usually went unnoticed. That morning began with a choice. Wake up and scroll on the phone, or sit quietly for 5 minutes. The choice felt small, almost meaningless. But for the first time, the small choice was respected. 5 minutes of silence happened. Nothing magical occurred, but something important started. Discipline did not arrive like a strong command. It arrived like a gentle agreement with oneself. A promise that felt realistic, not dramatic. I will do a little, even when I don't feel like it. That promise became the foundation. As days passed, small actions repeated themselves. Reading one page instead of planning to read a whole book. Walking for 10 minutes instead of dreaming about a perfect workout. Writing one paragraph instead of waiting for the perfect idea. These actions did not impress anyone, but they built trust inside. Slowly, a pattern appeared. When small actions were done daily, confidence grew. Not loud confidence, but quiet self-respect. The mind began to understand something important. Discipline is not punishment. It is protection. It protects goals from excuses. There were still bad days. Some mornings felt heavy. Some evenings ended with regret. But instead of quitting, reflection replaced judgment. Instead of saying, I am lazy, the thought became, what made today difficult? This change created learning instead of shame. One powerful realization emerged. Discipline works best when it is kind. Harsh rules created resistance, but gentle structure created consistency. When goals felt connected to personal values, discipline felt meaningful, not forced. Time continued to move, and changes became visible. Work felt more focused. Distractions lost some of their power. Energy improved, not because life became easier, but because effort became organized. Discipline turned chaos into direction. Others began to notice something different. Not dramatic success, but steady progress. The person who once delayed everything now showed up regularly. Not perfectly, but consistently. And consistency over time created results. The biggest lesson arrived quietly one morning. Discipline was no longer something to search for. It had become a habit, a part of daily life, like brushing teeth or drinking water. It did not require motivation every day. It existed even on tired days. Discipline also changed the relationship with time. Time was no longer an enemy that ran too fast. It became a partner. Each day offered a small space to act, and that space was respected. The story of discipline is not about becoming someone else. It is about becoming more honest with yourself. Discipline asks one simple question every day. Will you keep your promise today? And even a small yes is powerful. Over time, goals once thought impossible began to feel reachable. Not because talent increased, but because effort stayed. Discipline turned dreams into plans, and plans into actions. This journey also revealed an important truth. Discipline grows stronger when the environment supports it. Small changes helped. Keeping the phone away while working, preparing tasks the night before, reducing choices in the morning. These changes made discipline easier, not harder. Another lesson became clear. Discipline is not about doing more. It is about doing what matters. Removing unnecessary tasks created more energy for meaningful work. Focus replaced busyness. Failure still happened, but failure no longer ended the journey. It became feedback. Each mistake taught something new. Discipline allowed learning without quitting. As weeks passed, the inner voice changed. It became more supportive, more confident. Instead of saying, you should do this, it said, you can do this. Discipline and self-belief grew together. One day, looking back felt surprising. The person who once waited for motivation now moved without it. Discipline had become a quiet strength, guiding actions even when emotions changed. The town itself seemed unchanged, but one life inside it was different. And that difference came from simple daily choices, not dramatic moments. The final realization was gentle but powerful. Discipline is not a finish line. It is a relationship, a daily conversation with yourself. Some days are strong, some days are weak, but the relationship continues. True discipline is built with patience. It respects human limits. It understands rest. It allows mistakes. And still, it continues forward. As this story comes to an end, remember this. Discipline is not something you find once. It is something you practice daily. Small actions, clear intentions, kind structure. If you take one lesson from this story, let it be this. Start small. Stay consistent. Be kind to yourself. Discipline will grow naturally, and with it, a stronger, calmer, and more confident life. Thank you for listening, my friend. Keep practicing, keep learning, and step by step, let discipline work quietly in your life.